As if moving away from home, dorming with strangers, and figuring out your major isn't enough stress, there's the freshman 15 to worry about as well. College students are rumored to pick up the pounds their first year at school, but how many actually gain that much weight? Did you gain the freshman 15? I certainly did.
I did as well, and it was a huge surprise because I've actually never had a big problem with weight gain or anything like that my entire life. I danced for a lot of my life, so my weight was always kind of under control. But I got to school and hit those all-you-can-eat carb buffets, and the pounds kind of came on before I even knew it.
Men have to deal with it as well. What happened when you went to school?
Yeah, it's definitely not just a female problem. A lot of guys can gain it too. It's a little different for me. My freshman year, I got really into lifting, so I did gain 20 pounds, but it was purposeful weight, and then I dropped 10 pounds of it because it's really hard to maintain. I did eat pretty unhealthy the first semester and had other ill effects, but nothing like weight gain that I didn't want. But I did have friends who did gain the 15, so it's something that does happen to guys.
Is going from having home cooked meals, every night with your parents to pizza. Is that the issue?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think it's tough, especially when you have a lot of the places on campus that just serve pretty much junk food. I know that when I was in college, there was a Chick-fil-A that was about 100 yards from my fraternity house, and that was about 100 yards closer than the rec center. So it was a little bit easier to find unhealthy foods than it was healthy foods. And I think that's a problem that a lot of kids come into contact with. You don't really have the guidance of your parents to tell you what to be eating, or a football coach or anything like that. You're really on your own for the first time. And you learn that in several different categories of your life, whether it be your health, your social life, or school for that matter.
What are college students going through that causes them to put on this weight?
Sure. There's a lot going on when you make that transition from your family's house to being in a dorm and being all on your own. First thing is, you're usually not getting regular meals. I find that a lot of students stay up very late at night. And when you have early morning classes, that's a recipe for disaster. You're always going to skip breakfast. And when you skip breakfast, that leads to overeating later in the day and another late night. So it creates this cycle. The other thing is you're faced with a ton of different foods. So you have this buffet of options. And I find that people would get, 2 to 3 plates at a time. They might nibble a little bit here, or they'll grab the pizza because it's quick. And it's just a lot easier to grab the unhealthy option. And then probably the other major thing is not getting enough sleep. There's some research to show that when we don't get enough sleep, it drives up the appetite and it leads us to make unhealthy food choices. So all of those things are happening in addition to just being uprooted from what you're really used to.